Hey everybody, it's Curtis with Everything Ham Radio. Today I'm here with Cody and Isaac, and they have started a YouthNet here in my local county of Johnson County. So we're going to talk to them and see what this is all about. So stick around. Hey everybody, my name is Curtis. My call sign is Kilo 5 Charlie Lima Mike, and today we are here with Isaac and Cody. We are going to be talking about a YouthNet that is going on here in my local county of Johnson County, Texas. But before we get into that, please make sure you click on the subscribe button down in the bottom right hand corner and click on the bell icon as well so you don't miss anything. Alright guys, so first off, why don't y'all introduce yourselves? Isaac, why don't you go ahead and go first?
My name is Isaac. I'm 15 years old. My call sign is KG5LOP, and I'm a technician glass operator.
Cody?
My name is Cody. My call sign is KG5TZX. I'm 11 years old, and I'm a technician class operator.
Awesome, very good. So what made y'all decide to get your license?
Well, really, for me, it was either get a license or don't drive. So,
So a little bit of blackmail.
I wouldn't go that far with it, but it was definitely stressed that I had to have it before I could drive. Yes.
And Cody, what about you?
I just did it because it was something else to do.
Is your dad a ham?
Yes, my dad is a extra class ham KG5JIV.
Cool. So is he saying, you want to get your license or to do this with me or anything like that?
No, I checked into the YouthNet before I had my license. I checked in as under his call sign, and I had fun doing it, so I got my own license.
Awesome. That's kind of my story. I got my license when I was 14 years old, I think, and I got it because my dad was getting his license, and we were going to start a ham club, which is the Texas Adventist Emergency Communications. We started that club. We got our license, and we did it because we were going to do help with disaster. So, I mean, it was a kind of a father-son thing, just like y'all are, it seems. So, how long have y'all had your license? Cody, why don't you start first?
I've had my license for 2 years.
Awesome.
So I got my license when I was 9.
Nice.
I've had my license for 3 years. I got it February 18th of 2016.
And how old were you?
I was 11.
So 9 and 11 years old here, y'all. This is what it takes to keep this hobby young. We need to get some more of these young people in our hobby. So what was the hardest part about getting your license?
I've got to say the hardest part between all the hours reading the book and doing the practice test online to taking the test, it was all pretty much equal, but none of it was just extremely stressful and hard. It was just kind of a time-consuming thing, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly fun at the time.
You didn't have any one topic that was harder than others?
Well, mostly it was the diagrams, remembering which picture was which was the hardest for me, but once I got that down, it was all around just time-consuming.
Yeah. Cody, what about you?
Probably for me it was just studying on online, because I didn't know we had a book to study it with. So until my dad tried to get my mom to get her license, but she didn't want to.
Well, you'll just have to work on her. Maybe one day she will.
But yeah, the most time-consuming part was it wasn't even taking the test; it was just studying.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
There's many different methods to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There is a lot of ways.
Learning all new stuff that I've never heard of before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is very true. So, I'm sure that y'all are probably one of the youngest people in the ham club here. What is it like being a young person amongst a whole bunch of old men?
Well, you see, this is, even after I got my license, not a lot changed, because I've been around my whole life. So it's just kind of, it's just normal for me. I actually love it because I can, hear a bunch of stories, ham radio or not, whether it's backing trucks into spots or how far they talked on a 5-watt radio with a 30-foot antenna. Learning all the stories, seeing what I can learn about the hobby, seeing what I can do to help them as they age a little bit and can't quite do as much as they used to be able to do. So there's many different things. It's all around really fun to do it. And a lot of stuff to remember, but we'll all get there one day.
Cody, what about you?
For me, it's just, I don't really know how to put it because I'm normally I go to a 4-H group, and I'm normally there's a lot of young kids in it, but still there are some parents in it. And then just coming here, nothing really changes except for what people talk about. So, I mean, the only thing is that you don't get a lot of the jokes that are talked about, but besides that.
So did y'all find it that maybe you're left out of something or any kind of pressure with the age difference?
No pressure, but every now and then they'll say something that it just takes a second to click in my head, but when I figure it out, it's like, oh, that's what it is. But yeah, I've been hanging around them most of my life. It's like I'm one of them, but I'm just not as old as they are.
Just don't have a bunch of gray hair like most of us.
Yeah, I have a little bit, but not much. It's all under my head.
That's what the hat's for. I see. Okay.
Well, no, you wouldn't be able to see it without the hat. I just thought we were on a radio deal. I should have at least one thing identifying radio. So
There you go. Cody, anything for you? Any kind of pressure or anything like that you notice? No? So, let's talk a little bit about the YouthNet. Now, Isaac, you started it, right?
yes, sir.
Why did you decide to start a YouthNet here?
Because I saw that there was not a lot of youths on the air, and I was like, that ain't right.
Yeah, we all grew up.
Yeah.
when I got my license, there was probably about 10 or 12 people that were right about 14, 15 years old. And
Yeah.
we all kind of grew up, and there hasn't been much since.
Yeah. I mean, there's 8 or 9 of us, but only 2 of us are licensed.
Mhm.
The others are working on it. They just sometimes don't have time to do it, or they're just exhausted and go to bed, and it's understandable.
Mhm.
But it's just, we see, I was sitting here and I was like, that'd be a good idea. I'm going to start a YouthNet. And then it's been quite a journey. It's fun, stressful at times. Sometimes I'm like, why did I do this again? Oh yeah, that's why. But it's just mostly lack of use on the air, something to encourage them. So that, because there's a big net which is mostly just the adults. And when I first started, I just checked into that one. I was like, I asked my dad, how complicated is it to start a net? He said, it's not, make announcements and just start it. I was like, okay. So I did, and we've picked up a little bit of steam, but
It's growing.
it's growing. It's slowly but surely. The little net that could.
So, Cody, how long after it was started did you start participating in it?
I don't really remember. I just,
About a year ago, I think it was.
yeah.
Because it wasn't too long after you got your license.
Yeah, because I remember sometimes, like, when he could,
When I couldn't run it, I'd say, hey, Cody, can you pick it up tonight? I can't make it.
and then this year, the day after the Goat Night captain, we got a schedule.
Well, no, I think it was the day of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
neck we
yeah,
planned it
yeah.
out, and then it took effect the next day, because the next day was a Sunday.
Yeah, so.
So, why did you want to get involved with it? Something else to do?
Something else to do on Sunday nights when I have normally not much to do. I mean, it's easy, can run it from home. It's not hard.
Do you find it challenging a little bit when a lot of people check in at once, getting your brain to translate to your fingers what to write down?
My dad does the logging part.
I did that at first, too. I the first time I logged a net, it was It was before I started the YouthNet. It was like the month or two after I got my license, somewhere between there. I just sat over there with a pen and a pad of paper, and then I moved over to the computer. And when I moved to the computer, I didn't do it all at once because my handwriting is faster than my typing. So when I started that computer, I started just with call signs, and then after that, I'd start catching what I could and putting it in for their traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what got me started. So if you pay attention, there's a couple seconds delay on both nets, depending on who's running the big one. Dad's running it, there's going to be a couple seconds delay on both between hearing it and typing it.
Right. Okay, so we actually had to switch rooms, and we're actually doing this a little bit later than the earlier part of this video because we actually ran out of time, and we actually did the YouthNet, and they're doing the regular net right now. But so before we go on to the next question, let's back up a little bit here. We did the net, and I reached out to a friend of mine, Sterling, N0SSG, I believe is his call sign. Sterling, I'm sorry if I got that wrong. But he spread the word to some youth clubs, and we had a couple check-ins. And I saw you grin ear to ear today when somebody checked in from Las Vegas, Nevada. Tell me what your feelings were whenever you got these people that were checking in that you didn't know and were a different area.
Well, at first the call sign came in, I didn't know. I was like, okay, that's normal. That happens all the time. There's call signs I just didn't hear right, and I think I don't know it, and I do, or it's call signs that I actually don't know. So that's normal. Then I saw where they're at. I'm like, what? I was so confused. I was like, either these people are tricking me right now, or we're running Fusion by somehow. So.
There's actually an Echo Link, one of the things that you actually can check into this net. So thank y'all everybody for checking in on Echo Link, and please make sure you continue to do so on Sunday nights. Okay, so the last question that I have for y'all, what piece of advice would you give another young person to get them involved or get them curious at the very least of this hobby? Cuddy, why don't you start us off on that question?
Normally better than having a cell phone because you can just talk to people right then and there instead of having to dial in a number and have to wait for them to answer.
And you don't have to worry about cell towers and all that. Yeah.
The only thing you have to worry about is the antenna. It's the only thing, which
This is this thing someone said a couple years ago. What determines how far you go? You can have a $1 billion radio, 200 watts, and have this long of antenna sticking straight out the back of it. You're not getting anywhere. You could have a 5-watt Bofang $25 HT off the internet with a antenna 35 foot in the air, 8 dB gain, and talk twice as far. I've seen that happen before.
What advice would you give somebody?
I've got to say I wouldn't necessarily give them advice, but I'd say, hey, have you ever been on the side of a mountain, tried to call somebody, and your phone said, nope, no reception, can't do that? You don't have to worry about that with this. As long as you have that, you can talk like there's nothing in your way. As long as you can get out enough to get to another radio, and you need help, you can call for help. There's many different uses for it, and there's all types of different radios for what you're doing. If you're just trying to talk 2-3 miles, you can do that on an HT. If you're trying to talk to another country, you're gonna need a bigger radio, bigger antenna, but you can do it. One day, me and my dad were in Walmart. We both had our radios. We had just come from doing something. I think it was one of the bike races or something. And he went over here, and I went over here, and we probably both walked off and left our phones in the truck. I probably left mine at home that day. I don't know. But we had our radios, so it didn't matter where our phones were at.
Or whether you had signal or not.
Correct. And good example is we were at Cleveland State Park. We were there for a family camp out. We didn't know that Cody and his dad were there. And they were walking around, they were making a hike, and I was they passed our campsite and stopped and talked. And I said, hey, Dad, can I? And then they said, hey, they asked me if I could go up there. I was like, yeah, just let me okay with my dad. And I said, Dad, is it cool if I go on a hike around the park with Cody and Sam? And he said, yeah, just take a radio. And I left my phone at the camp, had the radio, and I was across the park from it. What was it, 8 mile hike, 5 miles, something like that?
Yeah, I think it was about I think it was like a 2 or 3 mile hike. It was a long hike.
Well, guys, thank y'all very much for talking with me. Alright, y'all, thank y'all very much for tuning in. If you would like to check in on this net, on this youth net, or you have a child or something like that would like to check in, you can do it on Echolink. Search for N5ADA, that's November 5 Adam Delta Adam, or Alpha Delta Alpha, yeah. Anyways, y'all get it. Search for that on Echolink, you can check in. And if you're local here, check in on the local repeater, 145-490 with 88.5 tone. Thank you all very much for stopping in and spending some time with us. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and the bell icon so you don't miss anything. I got several things dealing with youth coming up this month, so make sure you do that. Until next time, y'all, this is K5CLM. I'll talk to y'all later. 73.